the guardian of the little courtyard of the red rooster woo in the small courtyard of a rural house with smoke rising from cooking fires. A majestic red rooster stands with its head held high, crowing "oh-oh-oh's feathers are like burning flames. Its comb is as red as ripe strawberries, and its voice is so loud that it can wake up the entire village. Little hen Hua always follows it. Oh-oh is the guardian of the courtyard. It looks handsome, but its heart is warmer than a grain of millet. That early morning, when the sky was just beginning to brighten and Wo-Wo was about to crow, he suddenly noticed a weasel crawling into a small hole beside the chicken coop. It immediately flapped its wings and rushed over, pecking at the weasel with its sharp beak. The oo-oo sound shook the entire yard, scaring the weasel so much that it ran away in a flash. The mother chicken quickly protected her baby eggs and nodded to oo-oo in gratitude, saying, "Thank you, oo-oo. You are braver than a big wolfhound." In the morning, the little owner Duadwu was learning to walk in the yard. She was wobbling and almost bumped into the stone steps. Oh-oh immediately ran over, gently blocking Duwadwo with her body and making a goo-goo sound to remind her. Duwadwo held Oh-oh's back and gradually steadied herself, smiling and touching its comb. Oh-oh is so considerate. It's even more reliable than a small walking stick. At noon, Grandma was picking vegetables in the vegetable garden and accidentally dropped her reading glasses in the grass. She was so anxious that she was running around in circles. Oh-oh immediately stretched her neck, pushed aside the weeds with her mouth, found her glasses under the green bean vine, and carefully carried them to her grandma. Grandma took the glasses and sprinkled a handful of golden millet on Uno, saying, "Our Uno is truly a considerate helper." In the afternoon, the little ducks followed their mother duck to swim by the river, but one of them fell behind and was crying "quack, quack" in the yard. Oh-oh heard the crying and immediately led the little duck, barking as they walked, safely delivering it to its mother. Mother duck swam around Oh-oh with her ducklings, as if to express her gratitude. In the evening, the setting sun dyed the small courtyard a golden red, and the friends gathered by the fence. Mother chicken brought fresh eggs, Duadwo brought crushed corn, and Grandma brought some clear water. Oh-oh stood on the stone platform, shook her fiery red feathers, and let out a loud cry. Her heart felt warm. It turned out that guarding every companion in the small courtyard was the most imposing and happiest thing. The warm and lively vegetable garden with red peppers in the corner of the vegetable garden covered with bamboo trellises. There hung a string of bright red peppers. The most eye-catching one was called Hu-Woo. Hu-Woo's body is like a little lantern. Its skin is as bright as if it were coated with red wax. And the green stem at the top is like a small hat swaying gently in the wind. Little tomato Yuan. Yuan always leans against it and says, "Huo is the little son of the vegetable garden. It looks beautiful, but its heart is warmer than sweet bean sauce." That early morning, the little ladybug Dion was so cold that it curled up into small meatballs and was shivering on the vegetable leaves. Huo quickly moved closer to it, using her warm red body to block the cold wind. Come to me quickly. The sun is warming me up. Dion stuck to Huo and soon became warm. Flapping her wings, she said, "Thank you, Huo. Your body is more comfortable than a small heater." In the morning, little Aunt Guagu's team was about to carry breadcrumbs, but was stopped by a small ditch on a vegetable leaf. Huo had a sudden inspiration. She asked her chili companion beside her to bend down and build a chili bridge. She also called for Dewdrop to help make the bridge surface smooth and stable. Walk along the bridge and do on slip. The ants lined up and passed by. Guago waved his antennae and thanked them. Your little bridge is even stronger than a small wooden bridge. At noon, the little master Duoduo came to the vegetable garden to pick vegetables, but was bitten by mosquitoes and scratched non-stop. Grandma picked the fire and gently applied its juice to the bag. Duoduo immediately stopped feeling itchy. She held the fire and said, "So red peppers can not only be used in cooking, but also as a small ointment. How amazing!" In the afternoon, it suddenly started to drizzle, and the newly sprouted coriander was beaten until it looked listless. Huo quickly cooperated with the green bean leaves on the bamboo stand, using her red body to block the slanting rain, while the green bean leaves covered the roots of the coriander. Little coriander, don't be afraid. We'll protect you. The little coriander slowly straightened up, and the water droplets on its leaves shone brightly, as if expressing gratitude. In the evening, the setting sun dyed the vegetable garden orange-red, and the friends gathered under the bamboo trellis. Yuan brought sweet juice, Dion presented fresh aphids, and Duo watered Huo with clear water. Huo hung on the bamboo trellis, as red as a small flame. My heart felt warm. It turned out that even if I was scorching hot myself, I could still help my good friend in the vegetable garden. Such a life was even more prosperous than basking in the sun. The farm confidence record of the red-feathered chick Banbon in the sunny chicken coop on the farm. A special chick hatched. Its name is Banbon. Banbon's feathers are not golden, but red and brown in patches, like small fluffy balls scattered with various colors. Other chicks always laugh at it for being ugly, but the mother hen always protects it. Banben's heart is more beautiful than its feathers, and its little claws are particularly sharp. That early morning, the chicks followed their mother to learn how to catch insects. But none of them could find the fat worms hidden under the grass roots. With a gentle dig of its little paws, the damp soil was torn apart, revealing a wriggling earthworm. It didn't keep it all to itself, but instead shared it with the youngest chick. "Come and eat. This one smells the best." The little chick chirped and rubbed against it. "Sister Banban, your claws are even more powerful than a little shovel." In the morning, the sun was scorching hot on the ground, and the little owner, Duoduo, lost her hairpin in the yard. While the other chicks were playing around, Banban, with his sharp eyes, found the shiny hairpin under the withered leaves of the flower bed and gently carried it to Duoduo with his mouth. Duoduo hugged Banban and smiled. Banban is so capable, she's even smarter than a little detective. At noon, a little hedgehog named Tuan Chuan was carrying wild fruits and passing by a farm. Accidentally, its spines got stuck in the fence. Banban immediately gathered the chicks, used their little claws to help Tuan Chuan push open the gap in the fence, and gently pecked away the weeds entangled in the thorns with their beaks. After Tuan Chuan got out of the predicament, he put down a wild fruit and said, "Thank you, Banban. You are even more warm-hearted than you look." In the afternoon, a sudden strong wind blew, and the straw curtains in the chicken coop were blown away. The egg babies were almost frozen. Banban immediately flew to the haystack, used his body to press down on the fluttering straw curtain, and called his friends to fix the curtain together. He then lay down beside the egg baby to keep warm. After the mother hen came back, she gently pecked the top of its head. In the evening, the setting sun dyed the farm a warm red, and the friends gathered around the chicken coop. The chicks pushed the bugs they caught to Banban. Duaduo tied a red ribbon around it, and Tuan brought sweet wild fruits. Banban shook its multicolored feathers, which shone with a special light in the setting sun. It finally understood that true beauty does not lie in the feathers, but in the good heart that helps others. The heartwarming adventure of the yellow chick Gigi's farm. On the farm grassland bathed in golden light, a fluffy little yellow chicken was hopping around, chirping. Gigi's fur is like dandelions sprinkled with sunlight. Its round black eyes shining brightly, and its little paws making a dada sound when it runs. The mother hen always gigs gently. Gigi is the little warm sun of the farm. It looks cute and innocent, but its heart is warmer than millet porridge. One early morning, Gigi was learning to catch insects with her friends when suddenly she heard a woo sobbing sound coming from the grass. When I pried open the soft green grass, I found out that the little ant Guago had fallen into a pit and couldn't climb out no matter how hard I tried. Gigi immediately squatted down, spread her tiny wings, and gently lowered them, as if building a soft feather bridge. Guago grabbed my feathers and crawled slowly. Guago carefully moved up along the warm feathers and finally returned to the ground. Waving her antennae, she thanked her. "Thank you, Gigi. Your wings are stronger than a small rope." In the morning, the sun was rising higher and higher. When little hedgehog Kuuki was looking for wild fruits, her back was accidentally covered with Xanthium sibericum, and her spines got stuck together. She was in so much pain that she was groping. Gigi had a sudden inspiration. With its sharp little beak, it carefully pecked off the burdock seeds one by one for Kuuki. It also pecked out tender grass leaves to spread on the ground for it to rest. "Don't worry, I'll help you with it slowly." Kuki bent over, rubbing and chattering. "Sister Gigi, your mouth is more dexterous than a little comb." At noon, the little master Duaduo was drying grains in the yard. Suddenly, a strong wind blew, scattering the grains all over the ground. A few sparrows took the opportunity to steal food. Gigi immediately gathered her little chicken friends, and together they used their little paws to scrape the grains together. She herself, with her little chest out, chirped giggle at the sparrows to drive them away. Duoduo smiled and fed Gigi millet. Gigi is really my capable little helper. It's even more useful than a little broom. In the afternoon, the mother hen found that the straw mat in the chicken coop was torn, and the baby eggs were almost exposed. Gigi hurriedly ran to the grassland, fetched soft dry grass and fallen feathers, and carried them back to the chicken coop round and round. She gradually spread the straw mats thickly, and gently moved the egg babies to the center of the new mats. Mother Hen gently licked Gigi's head and said, "My little Gigi has grown up. He can take care of his younger siblings now." In the evening, the setting sun dyed the farm a golden red, and the friends gathered around the chicken coop. Guagu brings sweet nectar, Kyuki presents fresh wild fruits, and Duadua brings abundant millet and clear water. Gigi pecked at the millet, her little wings flapping excitedly, and her yellow fluff shone with a warm light in the setting sun. It knew that even though it was small and not very strong, it could still help its good friends through its own efforts. Such a lively and mutually supportive farm life was even happier than eating the most delicious insects. The warm and busy note of the Green Mountains listened to by the sharp-eared rabbit on the green hillside covered with green grass. There is a special little rabbit jumping around. It is called Tingding. Tingding's ears are twice as long as those of other rabbits. They are pink and tender like two long leaves. With just a slight movement, it can hear distant sounds. When it runs, its ears swing back and forth. Little squirrel Tao Tao always calls it Ting Ting is the little radar of the Green Mountains. Its ears are sharp and its heart is sweeter than wild strawberries. That early morning, Listening was munching on the green grass when suddenly her long ears pricked up. A woo cry came from afar. It hurried over and found that the little hedgehog Tuanchuan had fallen into the hunter's small trap. Listen and hook your long ears onto the vine beside you. Let Tuantuan grasp the vine and pull it back hard yourself. Hold on tight, I'll pull you up. After climbing out, Tuantuan shook her thorns and said, "Thank you for listening. Your ears are stronger than a small rope." In the morning, the sun warmed up the hillside. The mother goat couldn't find her lost lamb, Baba, and was so anxious that she bleated. Ting Ting immediately pricked up her ears and ran towards the bamboo grove following the faint cries. Sure enough, she found the trembling Meow among the bamboo shoots and safely brought it back to her mother. The mother goat rubbed her head against it and listened. Your ears are more sensitive than the wind ears. At noon, the little master Duaduo came to the hillside to pick mushrooms, but she couldn't tell the difference between poisonous mushrooms and fresh ones. Ting Ting immediately used her long ears to push aside the fallen leaves, revealing the safe mushrooms she often ate. She also vigorously shook her ears at the poisonous mushrooms, warning Duaduo not to touch them. Don't take these brightly colored ones. Follow me and you won't go wrong. Duarduo picked a basket full of mushrooms and smiled as she fed them carrots. In the afternoon, dark clouds were coming, and it was going to rain. I heard the stream in the distance rising. I quickly ran all over the hillside and called my friends home. Take shelter from the rain quickly. The stream is going to flood up. The little squirrel, the little hedgehog, and the little lambs all followed Ting-Ding and hid in the cave. As soon as they entered the cave, a heavy rain began to pour down with a whoosh-whoosh sound. Everyone praised Ting-Ding for its quick reaction. In the evening, the rain stopped and a rainbow hung by the mountain. The friends gathered in front of the cave. Tao Tao brought pine seeds, Tuan presented wild fruits, and Dua Dua brought sweet carrot soup. Listen to munching on carrots with long ears fanning from time to time. Feeling warm in your heart, it turns out that your long ears are not only beautiful, but also can protect your good friends. Such a life in the Green Mountains is sweeter than wild strawberries. The warm grass care notes of the big-headed mushroom umbrella after the rain in the green grass field, a round and big-headed mushroom emerged. It was called Umbrella. The cap of the umbrella is like an open cream umbrella, snow white with small brown spots on it. The stem is thick and very sturdy. Standing steadily in the grass, the dewdrops on it are like small pearls scattered all over the ground. The ladybug mother always says umbrella is a little rest stop in the grass. It looks cute, but its heart is softer than the morning dew. That early morning, little Ant Guago led the team to carry sugar grains. Suddenly, a light drizzle began to fall. Guagu shouted anxiously, "Find a place to shelter from the rain quickly." Umbrella quickly shook the cap of the mushroom and shouted loudly, "Guagu, come down here quickly." The little ants lined up and crawled under the mushroom cap. The raindrops trickled down the edge of the umbrella. Guago waved her antennae and said, "Thank you, umbrella. Your mushroom cap is even stronger than a leaf shed. It's so reassuring to hide here." In the morning, the sun slowly rose. The little snail got tired from crawling and wanted to find a place to rest. When Umbrella saw this, she deliberately tilted the mushroom cap to a place with less sunlight to create a shady spot. "Take your time, come and rest here quickly." Slowly climbing to the stem of the fungus, I dozed off in the shell and woke up saying, "Thank you, Umbrella. Your shadow is more comfortable than a mat. I have the strength to climb again." At noon, the little butterfly's colorful wings were dirty with mud and water, and it couldn't fly. It was so anxious that it cried. Umbrella let the dewdrops on the mushroom caps drip down and land in front of Cici. Then it used the soft gills of the mushrooms to wipe its wings. Cici. Wipe it with the dewdrops and it will fly soon. Cici licked the dew, wiped her wings clean, flapped them and flew around Umbrella. "Thank you, Umbrella. Your dewdrops are cleaner than clear water. I can fly again." In the afternoon, the little girl Duadwu from the neighbor's house came to the grassland to pick wildflowers, hoping to find a special little ornament. She immediately spotted the big-headed umbrella, squatted down and gently touched the cap. Wow, this mushroom is so cute, like a little hat. Umbrella gently shook the mushroom cap, shaking off the small dewdrops on it, as if greeting Duadwo, smiled and placed the wildflowers she had picked beside Umbrella. In the evening, it began to drizzle again. Umbra thought of the little cricket Lele, which lived under the grass leaves. Its little nest was unobstructed. Umbrella quickly invited the little mushrooms beside her to approach her, used the caps to form a large mushroom umbrella formation, and moved Lele's little nest to the very center. When the raindrops fell, Lele was singing under the umbrella array. "Thank you, Umbrella. Your mushroom caps are warmer than small tents." The setting sun dyed the grassland a warm golden hue. The friends gathered around Umbrella and held a small sharing session. Gawago brought sweet sugar grains, slowly shared the tender grass leaves, and Dowadwo brought fragrant petals. Umbrella stood in the middle. The spots on the mushroom cap looked like they were sprinkled with gold powder under the setting sun. It said, "I'm the happiest when I can help everyone." The ladybug mother smiled and said, "Umbrella's big head is cute, but her helpful heart is even more precious." When the moon rose, Umbrella was still standing on the grass, its mushroom cap bathed in moonlight, as if it were draped in a layer of silver gauze. Because of the big-headed mushroom umbrella, this small meadow has become warmer and more lively. Such days are more pleasant than sweet sugar grains and more blissful than round mushroom caps. The cute and heartwarming underwater story of the pink big-eyed fish. Beside the colorful coral reef, there swims a soft pink big-eyed fish. Its name is Meng-Meng. Meng-Meng's body is like a pink cotton candy. The most distinctive feature is her pair of big round eyes, like two shiny pink crystals. Her tail is in the shape of a light pink gauze skirt, gently swaying as she swims. Behind her, there is a string of tiny bubbles. Ninny, the clownfish, always says Meng-Meng is a little lantern in the ocean. Her eyes are bright and her heart is warmer than coral. That early morning, the little starfish, Xing Xing, accidentally turned over and got stuck in a coral crevice with its belly facing up, unable to turn over no matter how hard it tried. Meng-Meng swam over quickly, gently pressed her body against the side of the star, and swung her tail vigorously to help it with the support. Star, come on, it'll be turned over right away. The star turned straight with a gurgle and lay on the rock, saying, "Thank you, Meng-Meng. Your strength is more effective than a small fader. I'm finally free." In the morning, the fog at the bottom of the sea was a bit thick. Little seahorse Tiao Tiao couldn't find her mother and was so anxious that she was spinning around in place. Meng-Meng immediately opened her eyes wide, her pink pupils shining in the mist. She led Tiao Tiao to swim towards the seaweed bed where her seahorse mother often went, and from time to time she would touch Tiao Tiao with her tail. "Don't be afraid, follow my eyes." Soon, Tiao Tiao threw herself into her mother's arms and turned around to shout, "Meng-Meng, your eyes are brighter than a navigation light." At noon, a small hole appeared in the shell of the little hermit crab, and the cold seawater rushed in. Meng Meng remembered the empty conch she had hidden under the stone and quickly swam over with it in her mouth. Zixi, this new house is for you. Zixi dived into the smooth conch and happily said, "Thank you, Meng Meng. This house is even more comfortable than the old one. How considerate." In the afternoon, the little girl Duaduo from the neighbor's house came to the seaside for snorkeling and immediately saw the pink Meng Meng. Meng Meng was not at all afraid of strangers. She swam to Duadua's mask, her big eyes blinking, and she even blew out a string of bubbles, as if greeting her. Duadua smiled and waved her hand, gently scattering the brine shrimp she had brought into the sea. Meng Meng picked one up and wagged her tail at Duadua. In the evening, a small whirlpool suddenly blew up at the bottom of the sea, and the little jellyfish Shushui was tossed about. Meng Meng quickly swam to Shushui's side, blocking the force of the whirlpool with her body and leading it to hide in the crevice of the coral reef. "Shushui, it's safe to hide here." Shushui steadied herself in the gap, her glowing skirt gently swaying. "Thank you, Meng Meng. You are more reliable than the reef. I'm not the least bit panicked." The setting sun dyed the sea surface a pinkish-orange color, and the light filtered through the water and fell on the coral reefs. The friends gathered around Meng Meng and held a small sharing session. Xing Xing brought fresh seaweed, Zixi presented smooth pebbles, and Duaduo scattered sweet fish food. Meng Meng opened her big eyes, held fish food in her mouth, and wagged her tail like a little dress, feeling warm in her heart. "Ninny." The clownfish said, "Cute big eyes are beautiful, and a helpful heart shines even brighter." When the moon rose, Meng Meng lay among the coral reefs, her big eyes still shining faintly. Because of the pink, big-eyed fish Meng Meng, this small underwater world has become more lively and more reassuring. Such days are more delicious than sweet fish food and more blissful than the chubby body. A warm and busy record of a strong brown bear in the forest, in the autumn forest covered with fallen leaves. There lived a strong brown bear named Juangguang. Juangguang's fur is like softened caramel, feeling warm to the touch. Her round face is set with two big, black and bright eyes. Her claws are thick but flexible. When she walks, the thump-thump sound is like a small drum. Grandma Squirrel always says Juangguang is the little support of the forest. She has a solid appearance and a heart warmer than a roasted sweet potato. One early morning, little squirrel Tauto was carrying pine cones into a tree hole when she accidentally slipped and fell into a pile of fallen leaves. Zhuangzhuang hurried over, gently lifted Tauto and the scattered pine cones with his paws, and steadily sent them back to the tree hole. Tao Tao leaned against the hole and shouted, "Thank you, Zhuangzhuang. Your claws are even more stable than a small basket. You've saved all the pine cones." In the morning, the sun was warm and cozy. Little hedgehog Kuki wanted to carry the wild fruits she had collected home, but there were too many fruits to bear. Duangshuang found a large paulownia leaf and used his paws to press it into an arc to make a fruit plate to help Kuki hold the wild fruit. Kuki, followed beside and said, "Brother Juangawang, your hands are even more effective than a small cart. Not a single wild fruit has fallen off." At noon, little fox Hong Hong was drinking water by the stream when she accidentally scraped her scarf onto a branch. Zhuangguang stood on tiptoe, gently touching the scarf with his long paws and helping Hong Hong shake off the grass leaves on it. Hong Hong, wrapped in a warm scarf, said, "Thank you, Weng Zhuang. Your height is even more reliable than a big tree. I'm not afraid of the cold anymore." In the afternoon, the little girl Duarduo from the neighbor's house came to the forest to pick maple leaves. She got lost and sat on a rock crying. Duanga Swang heard the crying and walked over slowly. He gently rubbed Duarduo's hand back with his nose and then led the way slowly in front, looking back at her from time to time. Duarduo followed Zhuangguang and soon saw the familiar little wooden house. In the evening, a light drizzle began to fall from the sky. Zhuangguang thought of the new family of birds that had moved in. Their nest had not yet been reinforced. Zhuangguang quickly fetched dry branches and dry grass, carefully placed them around the bird's nest with his paws, and also found a large lotus leaf to cover it. When the raindrops fell, the mother bird kept chirping and thanking her in her nest. The setting sun dyed the forest a warm orange. The friends gathered around Zhuangguang's tree hole and held a small sharing session. Tao Tao brought the most fragrant pine cones, Kuki brought sweet wild fruits, and Duarduo brought honey cookies. Duangguang sat in the middle, munching on a biscuit, his eyes narrowed into small crescent moons. Grandma Squirrel smiled and said, "The strong brown fur looks nice, but a kind and warm-hearted heart is even more precious." When the moon rose, Zhuangguang lay in a tree hole filled with dry grass, listening to the chirping of insects in the forest. With crumbs of biscuits still sticking to the corners of his mouth. Because of the brown bear Zhuangguang, this small forest has become warmer and more reassuring. Such days are even happier than sweet honey. A heartwarming story of the bitter gourd vegetable garden. On the bamboo trail in the vegetable garden, there is a curved bitter gourd crawling. It is called Kuai Ku. The bitter body is wrapped in a bright green coat, covered with uneven small bumps. It feels hard to the touch. When you take a bite, even butterflies can't help but fly around it. Sister Cucumber always says, "Though bitter, the heart is sweet." It's a warm-hearted little guard in the vegetable garden. That early morning, the little aphids secretly climbed onto the green vegetable leaves, wanting to gnaw on the tender leaves. Bitter saw it and quickly released a faint bitterness. The aphids smelled the bitterness and immediately frowned and fled. Little Sister Green Vegetable shook the leaves and said, "Thank you so much, Bitter. Your bitterness is even stronger than that of the little guard. You helped me drive away the bad guys." In the morning, the sun was scorching hot in the vegetable garden. Little Aunt Guagu, along with her friends, was carrying breadcrumbs and was so exhausted that she was panting on a stone. Cuckoo hurriedly swayed the vines, allowing the broad leaves to droop down as if holding up a small green pergola. Little ants, come and rest. The ants were hiding under the pergola. The cool breeze carried a bitter taste. Quagwo waved its antennae and said, "Brother Bitter, your leaves are more comfortable than the shade of a big tree. Even the bitterness is refreshing to smell." At noon, the little ladybug Dion accidentally fell into a ditch and couldn't climb out. The long vine hung down in a hurry, like a little green rope stretching out. "Dion, catch me." Dion slowly climbed up the vine, flapping her wings and saying, "Thank you so much, so hard. Your vines are stronger than small ladders. How reliable." In the afternoon, the little boy Lely from the neighbor's house came to help in the vegetable garden. Accidentally, he tripped over a small stone and scraped his knee. Lely was in so much pain that she wanted to cry. At a glance, she saw the bitter pain. Mum picked a small piece of bitter gourd, squeezed out the juice, and applied it to Lely's wound. The juice of bitter gourd can reduce inflammation. Lely felt a chill in her knees, and it didn't hurt so much anymore. She touched the bitter vine and said, "Bitter, you are really a useful companion. Although you are bitter, you are very powerful." In the evening, dark clouds drifted from the sky and it seemed that it was about to rain. I desperately recalled the small loofah seedling perched on the bamboo trellis. Its vines were still very weak. Kauku quickly swayed his body, allowing the thick leaves to cover the loofah seedlings, as if holding up a small green umbrella. When the raindrops pattered down, the loofah seedlings were firmly hidden beneath, smiling and saying, "Thank you so much, so hard. Your leaves are more effective than a small tent. I didn't get wet at all." The setting sun bathed the vegetable garden in a warm yellow color. The friends gathered under the bitter bamboo trellis and held a small sharing session. Sister Green Vegetable brought fresh and tender leaves, Little Aunt brought breadcrumbs, and Lely brought sweet water. Hanging on the vine, its emerald green body shone in the setting sun. It said, "Although I taste bitter, I'm the happiest when I can help everyone." Sister Cucumber smiled and said, "Although the bitter taste is bitter, the heart that is willing to help others is the sweetest." When the moon rose, it was still hanging on the bamboo frame like a small green crescent moon. Because of the bitter gourd, this small vegetable garden has become safer and warmer. Such days are more precious than sweet fruits and more reassuring than emerald green leaves. The warm story of the lush green birds in the forest, in the emerald green forest, there is a lively green bird flying. Its name is Kwikwi. Kui-Kui's feathers are like the tender leaves of spring, shining green. The edges of her wings have faint yellow lines. Her round head is covered with a small tuft of down. Her call is as clear as a silver bell. Grandma Woodpecker always says Kui-Kui is a little messenger in the forest. She flies fast, has a sweet voice, and always likes to help everyone. That early morning, the tree hole of little squirrel Tao Tao was soaked by the heavy rain and couldn't be lived in. Kwikwi saw this and quickly flapped her wings to fly around. Finally, she found a dry big tree hole and hurried back to shout, "Tao Tao, I've found a new home." Tao Tao followed Kwikwi into the new tree hole and happily said, "Thank you, Kwikwi. Your eyes are sharper than telescopes. Your new home is so comfortable. In the morning, the sun was scorching hot on the ground. The little ants, carrying sugar grains, were so exhausted that they lay on the stones, gasping for breath. Quickly flew to the top of the big tree, blocking the sunlight with her wings and gently fanning herself with leaves. Little ants, come and cool off. The cool breeze made the ants full of energy. The team leader waved his antennae and said, "Thank you, Quickly. Your wings are more useful than a small fan. The wind is sweet." At noon, little hedgehog Kuki got lost in the forest and was growling with hunger. Quickly landed beside Kuki, chattering away as she led it towards the wild fruit grove. From time to time, she would turn back to wait for it, saying, "Follow me, there's something delicious to eat." Kuki tasted the sweet wild fruit and bowed to Quickly, saying, "Thank you, Quickly. Your cries are more effective than road signs. Wild fruits are so sweet." In the afternoon, the little girl, Duadwo, from the neighbor's house, came to the forest for sketching. She wanted to draw a rare blue wildflower, but she just couldn't find it. Quickly saw this and immediately held a petal in her mouth, leading the way ahead and taking Duadwo to the valley where wildflowers were in full bloom. Duadwo smiled and clapped her hands. "Quickly, you are such a caring companion. This flower is so beautiful." In the evening, dark clouds drifted from the sky, and it seemed that it was about to rain. Quickly found that the grass nest of the little cricket lily was leaking. She quickly picked up some dry grass and leaves to help Lely repair the nest and also found a large lotus leaf to cover the top. When the raindrops drip fell, Lely's bed was extremely dry. She sang a song and said, "Thank you, Kui Kui. Your craftsmanship is even more skillful than that of a little tailor. I'm not wet at all." The setting sun dyed the forest golden green. The friends gathered under the lush trees and held a small sharing session. Tao Tao brought pine cones, Kuki brought wild fruits, and Duadwo brought sweet millet. Quickly pecked at the millet, her wings flapping gently, feeling warm in her heart. Grandma Woodpecker said, "Quickie's green feathers are beautiful, but her warm-hearted heart to help others is even more precious." When the moon rose, Kui Kui fell on the branches, and the song drifted along with the evening breeze. Because of the green bird Kui Kui, this small forest has become more lively and warmer. Such days are more pleasant than sweet millet and more dazzling than emerald green feathers. The warm care story of the little yellow dog Wang Wang in the small courtyard beside the fence of a rural courtyard. There was a fluffy little yellow dog running. Its name was Wang Wang. Wang Wang's fur is like the sun-dried rape flowers, golden and soft. Its round black eyes are bright and shiny. Its big, drooping ears always sway gently. When it runs, it makes a da-da-da sound, creating a gentle breeze. It also makes a cheerful woof-woof-woof sound. Its owner, Grandpa, always says Wang Wang is the little guard of the courtyard. It has a charming appearance and a heart softer than cotton. One early morning, the little cat Mimi accidentally fell into the vegetable cellar and meowed in terror. Wang Wang heard the sound and rushed to the vegetable cellar. Lying on the ground, he stretched out his neck and gently reached for Mimi with his soft paws. "Mimi, catch me." Mimi climbed up along Wang Wang's paw, rubbed its face and said, "Thank you, Wang. Your claws are more useful than a small ladder. You saved me." In the morning, the sun made the small courtyard warm. The little ducks couldn't find any shade and lay on the ground, panting. Wang Wang hurriedly ran to the loofah tongs and pushed aside the thick leaves with his body, as if holding up a small golden pergola. "Ladies, come and enjoy the cool." The little ducks gathered around. As soon as the cool breeze blew, they immediately perked up and called out to Wang Wang, "Thank you, Wang Wang. It's even more comfortable here than under the shade of a big tree." At noon, the little owner Duadua's doll fell into the pond. She was so worried that she almost cried. When Wang Wang saw this, he jumped into the water with a plop, carefully picked up the doll with his mouth, and slowly swam back to the shore, placing the doll in front of Duodwu. Duodwu held the doll in her arms, smiling and patting Wang Wang's head. "Thank you, Wang Wang. Your swimming skills are even better than those of a duckling. The doll isn't wet." In the afternoon, the little boy Lele from the neighbor's house came to the small courtyard to play and wanted to chase butterflies with Wang Wang. Wang Wang led Lele to run in the yard and would stop from time to wait for him. When the butterfly flew far away, he would help Lele lead it closer. Lele sat on the ground, exhausted, and hugged Wang Wang's neck, saying, "Wang Wang, you are really my good friend. You had such a great time." In the evening, dark clouds drifted from the sky, and it seemed that it was about to rain. Wang Wang remembered the peanuts drying in the yard and quickly called his grandpa over with a woof 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 sound, dragging a corner of the sack under the eaves. When the raindrops pattered down, the peanuts had already been harvested into the house. The owner, Grandpa, smiled and said, "Our Wang Wang is so capable. He's a responsible little guard." The setting sun dyed the small courtyard a warm yellow. The friends gathered in the yard and held a small sharing session for what? Mimi brought dried small fish, the little duck shared corn kernels, and Duadwa and Lele brought sweet bone cookies. Wang Wang was munching on a biscuit, wagging his tail like a small flag, feeling warm in his heart. "Grandpa," the owner said, "Wang Wang's little yellow fur is cute, but his brave and warm-hearted heart is even more precious." When the moon rose, Wang Wang lay under the eaves, listening to the whispers in the small courtyard with a smile on his lips. Because of the little yellow dog Wang Wang, this small courtyard has become safer and more lively. Such days are more delicious than sweet cookies and more endearing than golden fur. The Pond Guardian story of the blue-winged dragonfly, Momo, in the reed pond at the edge of the village. There are lush green reeds and round lotus leaves. Here lives a special dragonfly. Its wings are not as transparent or colorful as those of its companions, but shiny pure black, as if brushed with a layer of black ink, yet with a metallic luster. Everyone calls it Momo. Momo's body is long and slender, clad in a deep green armor. Her eyes are like two black gems. When she flies, her black wings flap quickly and steadily, like a small black fighter jet. Her mother always says Momo is the guardian of the pond. Although her wings are black, they hide bravery and responsibility. That early morning, little shrimp Dodo got her tail entangled by water plants. The more she struggled, the tighter the entanglement became. She was so anxious that she swayed her body straight. Momo flapped her blue wings and flew over, asking softly, "Dodo, what's wrong with you?" Dudu said in a crying tone, "My tail is entangled in the water plants. I can't fly back." Momo quickly stopped on the water plants and carefully pushed aside the tangled ones with her pointed feet. Soon she helped Dodo loosen the binding. Dudu wagged her free tail and thanked Momo. "Thank you, Momo. Your little hands are so dexterous. They are even more useful than small scissors." In the morning, as the sun rose slowly, the mosquito larvae in the pond were wriggling around in the water, hoping to grow up and bite their friends. When Momo saw this, she immediately spread her black wings and flew low over the water like a little hunter, eating the mosquito larvae one by one. Little carp Lely swam over and wagged its tail at Momo, saying, "Momo, thank you for protecting the pond. With you by our side, we are no longer afraid of mosquitoes." Momo flapped her black wings and continued her patrol. Her blue wings shone with a determined light in the sunlight. At noon, little Aunt Guago, along with her friends, was carrying cookie crumbs. When they reached a small soil slope by the pond, they accidentally dropped the cookie crumbs into the water. Guagu was so anxious that she kept stamping her feet. Momo saw this and quickly flew over, gently picking up the floating cookie crumbs with her feet and steadily carrying them to the soil slope. Guagu waved her antennae and said, "Thank you, Mo. Your blue wings are fast and steady, even more reliable than a small boat." In the afternoon, the little girl Dua Duo from the neighbor's house came to the pond to sketch. As soon as she saw Momo flying in the air, her eyes lit up. "Wow, this black dragonfly is so cool. It looks like a little warrior." Momo gently landed on Duo's drawing paper, and her blue wings flapped gently, showing no sign of shyness at all. Duadwo carefully sketched its appearance and said with a smile, "You are so brave and warm-hearted. I'm going to draw you down and make you the main character in my painting." Momo winked at Duadwo as if saying, "Sure." In the evening, a gentle wind suddenly blew in the sky. Little ladybug Dion was blown onto the water surface by the wind and desperately clung to the edge of the lotus leaf. Momo hurriedly flew over, let Dion climb onto his back, flapped his blue wings and steadily carried it back to the shore. Dion shook the spots and said, "Thank you, Mo. Your back is safer than a lotus leaf. You are truly our guardian deity." The setting sun dyed the pond an orange-red color. All the little friends in the pond gathered under the big lotus leaves and held a small thank you party for Mo. Mo, little shrimp, brought freshwater plants, little carp shared sweetwater algae, and Duadwo presented Momo's sketches. Momo stood in the middle, its blue wings shining with gentle light. It said, "Protecting everyone is the happiest thing for me." Mother smiled and said, "It doesn't matter whether you look good or not." Being brave, kind, and willing to take responsibility are the most precious qualities. When the moon rose, Momo flapped her black wings and patrolled above the pond. Her black wings, reflecting the moonlight, looked like a black bolt of lightning. Thanks to the blue-winged dragonfly, Momo, this small pond has become more peaceful and beautiful. Such days are more refreshing than the sweet pool water and more dazzling than the shiny black wings. The friendly forest story of the green-haired rabbit on the grassland at the edge of the forest lived a special little rabbit. Its fur was not snow white or grayish-brown like that of its companions, but a tender grass-green color, as if wrapped in a layer of tender spring leaves. Everyone called it Chinking. Chinking's ears are long, with a hint of pink at the tips. Her eyes are like two glistening green grapes. When she jumps, her short tail curls up and down like a small green ball on her head. Mother Rabbit always says, "Chinking is the tender bud in the forest, kind and lively. Wherever she goes, she brings joy." That early morning, the little squirrel Guagu panicked on the pine tree. The pine cones it had stored had rolled into the thorn bush, and it dared not reach out to pick them up. Chinking hopped over and asked softly, "Guagu, why are you frowning?" Guagu pointed at the thorn bush and said, "My pinnacone has fallen in. I'm afraid I'll get pricked by the thorns." Chinking had a sudden inspiration. With her long ears, she gently pushed aside the thorns and carefully picked out the pinnacone. Guagu held a pinnacone in her hands and wagged her tail at Chinking, saying, "Thank you, Chinking. Your ears are more dexterous than small tweezers." In the morning, the sun was slowly rising. Little hedgehog Kooky wanted to look for the sweet wild berries. But the path in the forest was winding, and it got lost. When Chinking saw this, she immediately said, "Kooky, I'll take you there. I know the way." It led Kooky through the path filled with wildflowers and helped clear away the weeds blocking the way. Soon it found the bushes overgrown with wild berries. Kooky happily picked up wild berries and hunched over to Chinking, saying, "Thank you, Chinking. Your green down is like a little signpost in the grass. Following you is a sure bet." At noon, the sky was a bit muggy. Little bees buzzed back from gathering nectar, their mouths dry and tongues parched, but they couldn't find clean spring water. Chinking thought of the brook she often visited and quickly said, "Wang Wang, follow me." It ran to the brook with a buzz and folded a small cup out of leaves, scooping up the cool stream water and handing it to Buzz. Buzzing drank from the stream water, flapping its wings and saying, "Thank you, Chinking. You are such a warm-hearted little guide. The stream water quenches your thirst better than nectar." In the afternoon, dark clouds suddenly drifted from the sky, and it seemed that it was about to rain. Chinking thought of the little ants living under the mushroom umbrella. Their homes were easily flooded by rain. Chinking hurried home, dragged a large lotus leaf, and placed it above the ant hole. She also fixed the lotus leaf with small stones. When the raindrops pattered down, the ant captain poked his head out from under the leaves and waved his antennae at Chinking. "Thank you, Chinking. Your lotus leaf umbrella is more effective than a big tent." In the evening, the setting sun dyed the forest orange-red. The friends in the forest gathered under the big pine tree and held a small sharing session for Chinking. The squirrel brought the most fragrant pine cones, the hedgehog shared sweet wild berries, and the bee sent sweet nectar. Chinking sat in the middle. Its green fur shone gently in the setting sun. It said, "I'm the happiest when I help everyone." Mother Rabbit smiled and said, "The green downy fur is not only special, but also conceals warm kindness. This is the most precious thing." When the moon rose, Chinking lay in her little nest, holding the gifts given by her friends, with a smile on her lips. Because of the green-haired rabbit Chinking, this small forest has become warmer and more lively. Such days are more beautiful than sweet wild berries and more eye-catching than tender green down.